Hare Krishna devotees. Let us read the shloka for today. I'll share the screen. Somebody can chant the shloka. Able to see my screen? Yeah, somebody would unmute and read, please. Hare Krishna. Able to
Har-
hear me?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, yes, Mataji. Please.
Bhagavad Gita 1.26 Tatrapashyat sthitan parthah pitrun atha pitamahan acharyan matulan bhratrun putran pautran sakhins tatha श्वशुरान् सुहृदश्चैव सेनयोरुभयोरपि. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. There Arjuna could see within the midst of the armies of both parties his fathers, grandfathers, teachers, maternal uncles, brothers, sons, grandsons, friends, and also his fathers-in-law and well-wishers. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
There's one more shloka. Somebody would like to read. Just 27th. Yeah. Somebody would like to read?
May I, Prabhuji?
Yes, yes, Mataji.
Bhagavad Gita 1.27 तान् समीक्ष्य स कौन्तेयः सर्वान् बन्धून् अवस्थितान् कृपया परयाविष्टो विषीदन् idamabravit. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. When the son of Kunti, Arjuna, saw all these different grades of friends and relatives, he became overwhelmed with compassion and spoke thus. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay. Um, So, in this chapter, it's more of war and the description of how the different armies are standing. So, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada mentioned about Bhurishrava. So, today let us read some of the or try to understand the characters in Mahabharata. So, you might have heard, but still some might not have heard or read about different characters since we are talking about the armies here. So Bhurishrava was the son of Somadatta. Prabhupada mentions about Somadatta also. So Somadatta was the grandson of Bahalika. Bahalika is the elder brother of Shantanu. That is Bhishma's father. So what happens is Satyaki's grandfather, Sini, he insulted Bahalika's grandson, son, Somadatta, during the Devaki Swayamvara. So that is when he got insulted, he took a vow and he did some tapasya and he pleased Lord Shiva. That's when he got, the son and he could avenge him. Okay. So Somadatta's son is Purishrava. Particularly in the Parva where the war is happening on the 14th day of the Kurukshetra war, Bhurishrava name appears, and it elaborates or it glorifies about his valor or his courage, how he fights. So Bhurishrava engages in a duel with Satyaki. So Satyaki and Bhurishrava, and we also hear how Arjuna interferes and he helps Satyaki for getting saved from killed by Bhurishrava. So Purishrava, before dying, he sits in meditation on the battlefield and he's getting killed. So something which is, really someone can think about this. So this is there, and that's why he is glorified. And in Kurukshetra also there is a holy site. It's called Bhrushrava Tirtha. If you go to Kurukshetra, there's a small kind of a small temple, kind of a small spot. So because they say that is where he sat in meditation on the battlefield, he knew that he's going to die his time. So that spot is still there. So we see this. But overall, if we see the Kaurava and the Pandavas army, if we talk about the numbers, we know the 11 Akshonis and the 7 Akshonis of Pandavas. So the greater number is of the Kaurava side, led by Bhishma, Drona, Karna is there, Shalya is there. They are all, why I'm telling this is because they all took over. First Bhishma took over, then Drona took over after 10th day, and then Karna is there. After Karna, Shalya is there. It's a devastating war. Why, I'll tell you. And Pandava side is Arjuna, Bhima, Yudhishthira, Satyaki, Drupada, Virata. So the number wise, if we see, um, the Kaurava side, it's more over 24 lakh uh, soldiers, cavalries. There's so many people in that. If we have to talk about, the on horses, chariots. But the Yudhishthira side, there are over 15 lakhs. So there's a huge number difference. But still, we see that end of the day, Pandavas win the war, and combined together, it's about 3.9 million. Okay, that's almost like 39 lakh soldiers. But here and there, sources say that it's not just the number of soldiers, getting killed, but aftermath of the war which happened, it extended to another so many millions of people because there were families, the kingdoms getting destroyed. There's no leadership. And it is just not a war like nowadays we see, like what is happening in the Middle East conflict only between Iran and certain places. And they're not, they're just hitting the military installations or something like Russia and Ukraine is. It's not like that. The entire globe is fighting here. And the place they selected was Kurukshetra. So just imagine so much of forces, the backup armies, the mercenaries, and the tribal people who all supported different parties. And, so much massive first aid is required. The pileup of dead bodies and the food which has to be cooked, and the extended families because everyone has left and they've come here. So it was there was a mass destruction which was happening. So it's not just when we hear in Mahabharata, we only hear about these Akshonis, but it says that it extended the destruction. That is what we hear in the first chapter. If you see, Arjuna is going on arguing about, how Kula Dharma gets destroyed. But majorly, Krishna is trying, overall, if you see Bhagavad Gita, he's saying, no, this is about the establishment of Dharma. And this is very much required. Now, from the historical point, if we see, Dwapar Yuga is going to end and Kali Yuga has to start. And this is a complete cleansing process which is happening. It's not just about war. Okay. And all the people who appeared in Yadu dynasty and other dynasties. So, and there are two parties. One is the upper realm, the devatas who descend in the human form, and there are the lower realms and the different, previous life rakshasas or the demons. They come into so there's two different forces which is coming here, and they're all mixed together. Okay, they're all in the different families. Okay, we keep saying, na, in Dwaparika it was within the family. Then in Kali Yuga it's within the mind, which is there, the demon within us, and it comes out anytime. Those thoughts come in and we turn it into actions. So here the families are fighting. There are good devotees. There are good people on the Kaurava side also, and there are good people on the Pandava side also. So the massive destruction happens. Now remember, this war happens only for 18 days. Now I was just saying that the Russia-Ukraine war, which started from 2022 till now, it's been like 4 years. Maybe some thousands of soldiers have died comparatively. But if you see in 18 days, the entire, just imagine 39 lakh soldiers wiping out, okay, and extended also. So it is a massive number. It's a bloodbath which is happening. So because they are using different weapons, and this is not the like we see some missiles or rockets which is going out. It's not like that. Not only that, they are using Brahmastra. They say it's like a nuclear power which can destroy the entire planet. You're using Brahmastra, Narayanastra, Agniastra, Indrastra. There's so many weapons which are mentioned in Mahabharata, and each astra can kill thousands in a second, in a minute. So it is mentioned. And Arjuna's Gandiva bow, which was there, he had that celestial Gandiva bow. He could kill many warriors per second. Per second, I'm saying. I'm not just saying one arrow, one person. Many in a second. And Bhima alone was killing the entire Kauravas, 100 Kauravas. And it is said that Bhishma would kill every day, thousands and thousands of people. The soldiers. It was a, like supernatural weapons which were used. And end of the Mahabharata, what happens? There are only 12 people seen. If I have to say, then Krishna, if you take out, there's only 11 people or the humans who are there. So, that is the massive amount of the destruction which we see. And this is definitely mentioned. It's a cleansing process because there's a Kali Yuga to start after this war. Of course, there's a period of ruling of Yudhishthira's time, and then there is Parikshit Maharaj coming in. Then handover of Kali Yuga happens. All that is there. But it's a very short time if you see comparatively with the larger view of Dwapara, which is going to end. So it's a massive thing which happens. Now, interestingly, in the purport and even in the shlokas also, we see there are great personalities which have been mentioned. Why this has been mentioned? There is a reason because of the characters in the Mahabharata which comes out. So one such character, couple of characters I would like to mention for some time is about Dronacharya. So we always Acharya on a negative side, many, even in ISKCON also. But there's the other things which we have to understand how great he was and how determined he was. We all know the stories now about how Drona was in the childhood and how he grew up, and then how he led the teaching of Kauravas and Pandavas. Then he comes on the battlefield. We have read Mahabharata. But there's something interesting which some might not know about this. So Drona Charya is the son of Bharadwaja Rishi. We all have our gotras, no? So Bharadwaja is a gotra we carry. So Bharadwaja Rishi or the sage, he was living in a hermitage in the forest and near the Ganges, Ganga. And every day they used to take bath and conclude with the everyday activity into rituals, meditation, worship. So that's how he led his life. Very strict, brahmacharya life, you can say. So along with this, he's going to the Ganges, and in the Ganges, by accidentally the semen comes out, the seed comes out, which is accident, but he stores that in a drona. So that's why Drona is named after it. Drona is a container which is made with natural elements, kind of a leaf and other things. He makes that and he stores it. That's how Drona is born. It's not a natural way of a union between a male and female. So Drona is an extraordinary birth, if we see, very extraordinary. So he's born in that way, and it's not from the mother's womb or something like that. And right from birth, he's in the hermitage. He's called Drona. Then he gets the Acharya. Then Dronacharya he becomes. So Drona, he is living in the hermitage, and among the sages, he is getting the nice association. So he is disciple of Agnivesh. Okay, Agnivesh is a very senior disciple of Bharadwaja Muni. So Bharadwaja Rishi had a Agnivesh, and Agnivesh was he did not give directly the instructions to Dronacharya. He rather Dronacharya approached Agnivesh. That's how. So Agnivesh was known for his warrior skills. Okay, and he learned that very nicely, and he was also living with the same group, and that's how Agnivesh became the teacher of Drona. Now, the people may ask, okay, Brahmana, what is that into the warrior and everything? No, generally, Brahmana do not take up weapons, but they teach not only scriptures, but they also teach the other branches of knowledge. Okay, like it can be medicine, it can be weaponry, or it can be art, or anything as such. So, in general, teaching is a Brahmani itself is a Brahminical activity because one is sharing the knowledge, field of knowledge, whatever he is expert in. So sharing knowledge itself is a Brahminical activity. That's why we have that in our culture. No, we respect our teachers because they are always in a higher position and they give us the knowledge. So we are always gratitude and we show our gratitude and we are always thankful for that. Because of them, we are moving ahead in our life. Okay, be it material or spiritual also. So we have that culture. Still now we have that culture in schools also. So this is how he learns from Agnivesh and even for the sake of demons, if I have to say, in Ramayana also, if we see there are Rakshasas, they're all little children. They are all called as Yatudhanas. So they also perform pilgrimages, rituals. They all know I'm not the body, I'm the soul, all that they know. Okay. But being Rakshasas, but only thing is they're against the Lord. Okay, but they do all these things and they follow this and they have a teacher. So everybody has a teacher. That's a natural thing which is there. So the post or position of a teacher is very important in the society. So that's why Srila Prabhupada mentions about the establishment or the formation of this varnashrama. All the four varnas and four ashramas should be there. That's how the society will live in harmony, he says. So that is what we are trying to endeavor in ISKCON to establish that, somebody falls under that particular category, they have inclined, they have to follow that particular dharma. So that goes in that lineage. And so they will become successful. So their peace of mind is there. Okay. So that is what is there. So he takes that tuitions from Agnivesh, and in the same Gurukul, his classmate was Drupada. Now we all know the story of Drupada and Drona, how close they were in their class time. So they are both equals now. Though Drupada comes from a kingdom, Drona is born like this, but still they treated equally each other. So this is the words of Drupada. So Drupada mentions to Drona that we are such they because they ate together, they slept. You know how a Gurukul is. They sleep in the same bed. They play together. They collect things together. They learn together. So, because we have the experience of going from house to school and come back in the afternoon, but they used to live in the Gurukul, something like there are so many Gurukuls nowadays also, but back in those days it was only Gurukul. So this is a word of Drupada. He says that we are such a close friends that I promise that whatever is mine is yours. Half is yours and half is mine. Okay, I will share it with you. Now this Drona took it to his heart. So because they shared the food, all those loving affection, all those things were happening. So that's when the turning point came when Drona was married to Kripacharya's sister. Kripacharya is a Kula guru to Kauravas, Kuru dynasty. So he gave his sister to Dronacharya. So, but Kripi and Drona, when they had the child, a child was constantly crying because there's nothing food in the house. That's how in the olden days it was. As in the Vedic culture, Brahmanas were usually poverty stricken. They're poor. They do not demand any material, requirements. Whatever is the basic things they would try to get here and there sources available. So that's the quality of a Brahmana because he doesn't depend on anybody. We are all depending today on everything. Without the salaries, without anything, income, we cannot survive. So we have created such an environment around us. So hardly we see anyone who's trying to follow Brahmana. But still in the offices and everywhere in the society, we call ourselves a Brahmana. No, no, I belong to this Brahminical class. But the quality is a Shudra. We are always dependent. Without the mercy of the boss, without the scoldings, we cannot survive. Okay, that is how we have been living. So, but it's not the case of Brahmana. Brahmana never depends on anybody. So he depends everything on the destiny. Okay, or if he is a devotee, he will depend on the Lord. That's how the simple life they live. Sudama also, in case he is like that. So Ashwatthama is there and he's crying desperately because there's no food. One day, one time they're getting, sometimes they don't get, and that's how they're living. So Dronacharya in this extreme poverty, life, Kripi request him to do something. So that's when Drona remembers his, Gurukul time friend Drupada and goes to Panchala. So that's where he reminds him of his friendship. So here Drupada's thing has changed. Now he's a king. He is handling the kingdom, Panchala Desha, and he says, Drupada, you are not my equal. I cannot share anything. I can maintain you, but I cannot. Drupada did say that I will maintain you, I can give you in charity because a Brahmana has come to my kingdom. Because Drupada was like, he was, he used to take care of Brahmanas very nicely. So since Drona reminded that, of the childhood promise he had made that since you made that promise, half is mine. So Drona approached in that way. Now people have a misunderstanding that Drupada is a bad character. Okay, there's a lot of things which are there in Mahabharata. So he mentions about this. So Drupada says, see, that is the time when I was a child, we were equals, so I shared with you 50%. But it doesn't mean that now I have become a king and you're still a Brahmana, I can share with you 50% of my kingdom. So that's when Drona gets angry and he curses that, I will take revenge on you. And he comes out insulted. So that's when the whole story begins. He goes from Panchala to uh, Kurukshetra in, Hastinapur, all the way walking, uh, with his family. And that's how we all know the story that how he meets the young boys, they are impressed. And Bhishma, when, children don't know the name. So they tell this is what happened, all that. So then Bhishma understood, oh, Dronacharya has come. Now, how Bhishma knows Dronacharya? That is a very interesting thing. Bhishma is a disciple of Parashuram. So Dronacharya also learned those things, the art from Parashuram. He knew. So what happened is after Parashuram annihilated the 21 times this planet with all the demon kings, he wanted to give everything in charities. So he called everybody. So by the time Dronacharya could go there, he did not have anything. So he wanted charity. So Drona is looking for charity. So he did not have anything. So Parashuram asked Bhishma, because he was there also, he saw this. So Dronacharya asked for alms. So he said, I do not have anything. I'm sorry, O Brahmana. I've given everything in charity. So I have my body and my weapons. I'm here to lay anything what you want. If you want my life, I can take it and give it to you. So that was a good quality. So, um, so Dronacharya then finally asked, okay, you give me your weapons. So that's how Dronacharya acquired the Celestian weapons. Okay, so it's not a normal weapon, which was used in the Mahabharata war or the skills he was giving. So Bhishma knew that Now, anyways, Kripacharya is there. He is the Kulaguru and he is teaching the warrior skills to the children or the students. But still, he wanted more than that. So when he heard that Dronacharya is there, and Dronacharya has this position of this celestial knowledge, how to acquire those weapons and how to use them. So that is when he was taken care by Kuru dynasty. Now there are two things, Kripacharya and Dronacharya. So both we see, which has been mentioned in the shloka, I mean in the purport. So their names are mentioned. Kripacharya, survives Mahabharat war. So Dronacharya, of course, we know the story. He gets killed. So so Dronacharya is teaching them how to use these weapons, and it's also mentioned that various other kingdoms from all across the globe, the princes were sent to Dronacharya to learn this art, and we know the story of how Drupada's son Drushtadimna also. Um, Came and Drona knew that he's going to kill, but still he accepted it. Now, there's an interesting thing in Drishtadamya's case also. So, because we all know that Dronacharya, that story of, how he sent Kauravas and Pandavas. Kauravas lost, Duryodhana's face insulted, defeated, and then Arjuna and Bhima led. And Drupada was, though defeated, he was impressed with Arjuna's skills, and but still he was angry, Drupada, because he was lost. So Dronacharya took away half of the kingdom. So he remembered that promise and he took away that half kingdom and he left him. So head down, he goes back and he takes this tapasya. Now, interesting thing is here. So he goes into the forest, Drupada. Now he meets two Brahmanas. I'm not getting that name. So there's a name called Yaja and Upayaja. Yes, Yaja and Upajaya. There are two Brahmanas, and one Brahmana, he says that I will not perform the sacrifice what you're looking for because it's a material sacrifice, and I perform only spiritual sacrifices for the sake of spiritual upliftment. So I will not do it. You can ask my brother, he says. So if my brother agrees, then I will, accept it. So when he goes there, somehow he serves them for many days, then they accept it. So that's how Drupada, has this massive sacrifice. He wanted his son and the daughter. One thing is son, he wanted to kill Dronacharya, and daughter because he wanted Arjuna to get married. So he liked Arjuna, though he got defeated. So he liked Arjuna. So that's how. So we know that story. Thing is, when Drishtadyumna came out of the fire, from the sacrificial fire, now it's not a baby which came out. It's like the complete, like a soldier with armlets, everything covered. So he has this weapon and he's shooting arrows with the swords, everything. And in a chariot, he comes out. So this is it looks like, what we see today is the Hollywood movies, right? So it was like that. So he sees this and then he is controlled. Then he says, this boy will be the cause for Drona's end. So, but still, he needed a teacher. You see, though they are all celestial beings, but still they go to a teacher. So that's how Drishtadumna goes, and Dronacharya, accepts him, though he knows that's a quality of a Brahmana. Now, when Draupadi came, so when Draupadi came out of the fire, there was a voice in the air, okay, in the sky, that this woman will be the cause of a massive, a big war that would wipe out the population of this, entire world. Okay. So this is this will be the cause, they say. So this is something which is very fascinating in the story we hear. There are a lot of things, Mahabharata is so huge that we go on and read, go on days together, we keep reading. So Draupadi comes, and we know what happened because of Draupadi's disrobing. That's how the things happen. So important thing here from the shloka is now all these people who are there. Arjuna is telling, and Arjuna is seeing that so many relatives, so many people, they have played with them. They have eaten together. They're all cousins also. They're relatives. They're teachers. They're grandparents. They're parents. How can I kill them? So that is the question he has. So this is something which very very fascinating in Mahabharata if we see, and because end of the day, Krishna wanted to establish dharma. That is the reason he made everyone to come together, and he wanted to glorify his devotees. So that is the whole point. Sometimes sometimes other when we get time now, because we don't have time, so we can discuss about a lot of things about this. Whole lot of things which in Mahabharata characters it has been mentioned. Different characters. It takes about half an hour, 1 hour to discuss each characters. So only just one portion of it which I have discussed here, and the massiveness of the war which we are talking about. So why we remember all these things again and again is there's a whole difference between the wars we see today's world and what happened during that time. This war was because of the establishment of religion, especially because Krishna wanted to convey the Bhagavad Gita. So that is the main reason, and make sure that the right kingdom is formed. So that is what it happened. So that is what we see the lineages after that. Then again, Kali Yuga starts and everything deteriorates. And today we are here and seeing that something happens in Middle East and we are suffering. So that's how the war, so fragile it is, something happens and it is hitting our stomach, we can't cook properly. We are in anxiety, gas is there or not there. Somewhere it is happening, somewhere thousands of miles away, how fragile our life is. And someone who is staying in the 10th or 15th floor can't think about, burning a cow dung cake for cooking or firewood. That's how our life is so much dependent. We are on so many things. I'm just taking off the gas, but there's so many things we are dependent that without which we cannot live. But those days it was like I can live without it also, without food also. And I can get it. The people that's how lived. That's a practical way of living. But today we are so much weak. We can say we are so much weak, and we are so much fragile in our life. Okay. Anyways, there are long things which we can discuss when it comes to Mahabharata and these things. Of course, we are talking about devotionals, but there's so many things, the characters we can inbuilt, especially from these things. There's a lot of lessons we can learn. Okay, so I thank you very much. It's over the time, and Dandavats Pranam to everyone. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
See you
Prabhuji.
tomorrow.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Prabhu, Dharat Pranams. Thank you very much.
Dandavats Pranam. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, pranams and pranams to everybody assembled.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
devotees.
Prabhuji.
Hare
Dandavat
Krishna.
Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can I make a small announcement? Hare Krishna, Shri Hari Prabhuji.
Yes,
Hare
Yes,
yes.
yes, please.
Krishna.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna devotees, Puja Mataji has started a new satsang class every Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays. Saturday is the recap of class. It's between 2 p.m. and 2:30 p.m. A short class which includes Kirtan, Manglacharan, prayers, importance of reading Bhagavad Gita, the verse and explanation, importance of chanting the names of the Lord, glorification of acharyas, chanting of the beads 108 times, and many more things. Devotees, please join, and the links are sent in different groups. If the days and timing are not suitable, please suggest what is comfortable to you, and you can contact Puja Mataji, Sri Hari Prabhuji, or me. Devotees, please join. It's a very nice class. You will enjoy the class. It's just a short class, just for half an hour, and you will enjoy the company of devotees. That is more important.